Alfred leans over a badly injured Bruce Wayne. The sinister vigilante known as the Shadow stands nearby, commenting that the butler's efforts are useless. Batman was stabbed by a primordial knife wielded by the Stag. Such wounds do not heal. Alfred doesn't believe the man who was once known as Lamont Cranston, but after hours of work, Pennyworth is forced to admit that the Shadow is right. Something is wrong with Batman's wounds. They are actively resisting being healed. The best the butler could do was stabilize the man, but it won't last. It might not have happened yet, but no matter what these two do, Batman is dead. Just the same, the Dark Knight is able to get up and insists on continuing the case. Batman notices something in their most recent confrontation with the Stag. After carefully reviewing camera footage, Bruce is able to confirm it. The Stag was at 2 places at once tonight. This isn't an immortal being they are dealing with, but rather an entire army. Meanwhile, the Stag and the Joker have captured 2 of the Shadow's old friends. Batman and the Shadow are able to track them down, and Batman, now almost completely encased in an exosuit in order to keep himself alive, attacks the Joker. The villain mocks Batman, saying that he figured out the Stag's secret before even the Dark Knight could, and many glowing stags emerge from the shadows. The Shadow strikes out, while Batman is hit directly in his knife wound and is momentarily stunned, allowing the Joker and the main Stag to escape, fleeing to the doors of Shamba-La. As the heroes make their way to the door in close pursuit, the Shadow apologizes to Batman. Cranston is not a good man, as he readily admits, but he hopes the teachers in Shamba-La can save Bruce from his imminent death. But when they enter the gate, the Shadow is shocked by what he sees, for he always assumed the Stag would seek to rob this place of its power. Instead, he's burning it to the ground. At which point, Batman dies. Bruce then meets the teachers of Shamba-La. They exist on a higher plane of reality, with the city of Shamba-La serving as these beings' footholds in the human world. They use this place to teach, for they did not create a promised land, but rather a trap designed to lure the worst of humanity in with promises of power, only to offer them 2 options: redemption or death. Here is where Lamont Cranston became the Shadow, but long before that, 2 brothers sought out the city. One entered and chose death, his burnt and destroyed body given back to the brother. That man swore revenge and created a legacy known as the Stag. Generations of a family line dedicated to becoming evil enough in order to be allowed to return to Shamba-La and destroy it. The teachers are powerful but could not possibly resurrect themselves. Thus, they are in true danger under threat of the Stag, and there is only one man who can save them. So they offer Batman the same choice they have offered all others. He can assume the power of the Shadow and become an immortal crime fighter with strength that even Cranston could only dream of. Or he can choose to remain mortal, destined to fight until his eventual death. Bruce refuses, viewing his mantle of Batman as something destined to be worn by other men after his eventual death, and that death defines Batman. In the city of Shamba-La, the Shadow finds himself overwhelmed by the combined might of the Stag and the Joker, when Batman reappears before them, healed, and knocks the villains back. Though Cranston is glad to see Batman alive and well, he is sad to report that the situation is hopeless. The teachers are losing this battle and are dying as they speak. But Batman has an idea based on what the teachers showed him. If they destroy Shamba-La's anchor to human reality, the city will break free from Earth and save the teachers. The Shadow is desperate not to accept this plan, though. Not only will it destroy the city forever, leaving the teachers forever banished from this world, but it will leave Cranston stuck as an immortal Shadow. Cranston accepts that this must be done, but tries to give the gun to Batman, saying he can't do this to himself. But Bruce refuses to take it, insisting that this is the Shadow's world and his family, and he should be the one to do it and make this decision. Cranston agrees and destroys the angle. The energy around them overwhelms the two, but the Shadow is able to save not only himself and Batman, but the Stags and the Joker. Cranston tells Batman that every one of these villains will see a trial, and every one of them shall pay for their crimes. Batman is impressed in this change in approach, as before the Shadow would have just killed them all, but Cranston refuses to view this as a victory and calls Batman an idiot. Batman will never be able to take his place now, and he is cursed with this endless life. There will forevermore be a Batman and a Shadow, a punishment that shall never end for either of them. Batman says he doesn't see it that way, only for the Shadow to tell him that he will one day. Bruce thinks on this and later tells the Shadow that if he really has been watching him all this time, then Cranston should know that this life doesn't have to be a curse. Though the Shadow refuses to believe this, Batman offers to teach the man about such things in a better way. Cranston only scoffs at this, saying if that's what Bruce really thinks, he's learned nothing from this entire experience. The last thing Batman says before he leaves is that he doesn't think there's hope for the Shadow. He knows there is.